Well, the 4th of July is next week, and as we near the holiday, the number of DUI arrests will increase across Charleston, possibly more than likely everywhere else as well. Attorney Johnny Evans with Thurmond, Kirchner, and Timbes is here to tell us more of the consequences of DUI. Welcome, JJ. How are you, sir?
Thank you. I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Now, give us a little background about, because you're not just a lawyer, you were a SLED agent for a number of years as well?
I was a SLED agent for 9 years, and 10 years before that, I was a deputy sheriff. So I was a law enforcement officer for 19 years and then went to law school.
Wow. So in my opinion, you kind of got the upper hand over other lawyers with DUI because you've seen it, you've experienced it, you've arrested it. It's all there in front of you for 19 years in comparison with maybe a lawyer that just came in, is practicing law, and hasn't experienced that. That's what I would imagine.
That's very kind of you to say.
Yeah.
And I have made a bunch of DUI arrests over my law enforcement career, and I do know, it's a hyper-technical law, and it's easy to find the loopholes in if there are any mistakes made. But it's, I've seen both sides at this point.
So you're now in a position of defending a DUI individual that gets arrested for DUI. Let's just say somebody gets pulled over for DUI coming up this 4th of July, and I play with it a little bit, but it's serious. You don't want to have too much of the 5th on the 4th.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, that's really evident there. But if you're driving in a car, you're intoxicated, but you feel that you can drive, I would imagine one of the first things to do if an officer does pull you over is to make sure that you've got your driver's license, proof of registration, proof of insurance in your hand so that officer can see that when he walks up to your window.
Absolutely. And, there's a lot of things you can do to make an officer feel more comfortable. First and foremost, be courteous. As a former law enforcement officer, I can tell you that goes miles. Being contentious with the officer is not going to help you at all. Having all your documents ready, have the interior light on if it's dark at night, and just make them feel safe. And that will go miles with an officer.
So that's one of the main things that you should understand of if you're under the influence and you get pulled by an officer.
Absolutely. First of all, we always say, just don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth the consequences that you're going to face, and it's not worth it if you hurt someone else. But unfortunately, a lot of people are not going to follow that advice, and they will be intoxicated while driving, or at least have had drinks while driving this weekend.
What are the consequences if you're pulled over and you're ticketed, and you would more than likely be arrested at that time, correct?
Absolutely. You'll be arrested. You'll be taken down to the detention center or the police station and offered a breath test. The consequences of it, or I feel like the collateral consequences are more than the actual fine. So you're looking at a DUI first. The fine's somewhere around $1,000. You're going to get your license suspended. You could face jail time. More likely than not, you won't. But
first offense.
For first offense.
Sure. Yes,
but the biggest thing is, if you're convicted, you're facing a permanent record. It cannot be expunged in South Carolina, and you're facing 3 years of SR-22 insurance, which is really high. And just forever and ever, your mugshot will be on the internet, and it just can really hurt you down the line. And that's really, I think, the collateral consequences are why people hire a lawyer more than just what the state would charge.
Somebody's accused of DUI, the book. What should they do? What first thing, call a lawyer?
Well, unfortunately, the statute doesn't provide for you to be able to talk to your lawyer before you're offered a breath test.
Okay.
And I certainly wouldn't advise anybody to take it or not to take it without being their lawyer, but keep in mind, less evidence is better for your case down the line.
Yeah, and we've seen, and you've seen, 19 years in the police force, SLED, the police officers will be out in force this 4th of July.
Absolutely. I just read an article where Charleston County Sheriff's Office and the Target Zero Highway Patrol team has announced in the newspaper that they're having checkpoints over the 4th weekend up through the 4th to the 5th of July, actually. So, I mean, they're telling you they're out. And they're putting it out in print. Heed the warning.
Lyft, Uber, Yellow Cab, whatever.
Absolutely.
JJ, thank you so much for being here with us today.